Okay, we're live.
Namaste, good afternoon, and a very happy Janmashtami and a wonderful bank holiday weekend for the UK. From the UK, I'd like to welcome all our guests globally on Inspiring Indian Women's wonderful chat that we do for powerful women. I often explain that why do we need to use the term powerful women? Because these are women that cross boundaries beyond their limitations. As women, we always say, well, हमें घर संभालना है, हमें बच्चे देखने हैं, हमें सास ससुर को देखना है, हमें माँ बाप की चिंता करनी है, लेकिन कभी अपनी ख्वाहिशें, कभी अपनी ड्रीम्स, कभी अपनी जर्नीज फॉलो करते करते हम अपने आप को खो देते हैं. So when I started doing this with Rashmi and the Inspiring Indian group a few years ago, my agenda was to work with women or talk to women who will hopefully tell their stories about doing things that their heart desires. And they have the one thing that I've learned from these chats is that they have partners and family members that support them in their ambition or in their dreams. I'm going to now talk to a beautiful, talented, and inspiring young lady called. One second. Before I do that, I should not say a lady. I should call her a power biker. So I'm going to invite inspiring power biker called SARIKA MEHTA to our chat. The ladies that have logged in, you stay tuned, but I'm going to ask Sarika some questions about what inspired her to be a model for us. So welcome, Sarika.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me with such a lovely women's out here. And especially London has always been very close to my heart. And I've already met Rashmi, so definitely connecting back with Rashmi recalls my 3-continent ride, which I did from India, covering Asia, Europe, Africa, and then again we went to London. So it gave me again those goosebumps when I got a message from Rashmi that we want to connect with you and all. So thank you once again, everybody. Powerhouse, I think, as you rightly said, we all have that energy. We all have that power. I don't think so. I have 4 hands and 4 legs. I don't have 2 heads and 10 heads and all. It is just the way you utilize that chance. It is just the way how you come out of your own comfort zone and just grab that opportunity without thinking that what people would say. It is all about your dream, your perspectives. It is all about only one person can make your dream possible. It is you yourself. And this is the main mantra or the main power or main energy which I go on that road journey.
When you decided to start biking, did you work on your fitness level every day, or did you work very hard to achieve that level of fitness to be able to do this, or it happened over a long period of time and it was just a gradual process?
Let me tell you something about me. Like, I belong to a Gujarati family where my childhood was almost like we used to say stay 50 people in one house, a joint family. And when I say about, I'm almost 46, and when I say about, almost 45 years back, it was a big thing that a girl child should get a proper education, and only boys and males in our family were given that chance to study more and all that. So when I pursued my psychology, by profession I am a psychologist and a panelist for American Psychology Association for the ASEAN region. So when I had to do this, it was really difficult for me to pursue this career before 45 years, but then yes, I did it. And believe me, biking was never in my things to do list, neither in my dreams, neither anywhere in the wildest thought I have imagined that I would be on a bike traveling world on a motorbike. No, it was a big no. I never thought about that. Yes, by passion, I am a mountaineer. I'm climbing my 7 summits. And if you go to my page, you will see that I've climbed many of the summits. I'm the survivor from
What's your
Sarika. You can watch my stories on Sarika Mehta 36. It's on Instagram, on Facebook. It is Sarika Mehta. Then we have an official page called Biking Queens Officials. You can see lot many videos of different cities, countries where we are passing and what work we are doing. You can see that. So biking came by chance in my life. It was when I was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro and I successfully summited Kilimanjaro. So when I came back, one of my friend got those heavy bikes and he came to welcome me. And that time my wish was to just sit on the bike and click one picture. But the moment I was going towards that bike, so my friend is shouting and howling, it's a very huge bike, you cannot sit on that. And biking is not cup of your tea, you can just climb mountains. This not cup of your tea, this word shook me so hard and it stuck into my mind that why it is that way. I am a successful professional woman. I handle my family. I have two lovely children.
So
You
when
can
you say
even,
woman,
sorry.
what did you do for a living before you went into the adventurous area?
So before I'm still working as a psychologist. I do a lot of research work and things like that. I do a lot of social campaigns also. And this is what we were doing it. And before that, when I was climbing mountains, till that time only biking was never there. And after that, this not cup of your tea took me to learn biking, cross the boundaries, cross that thought process that biking is just not a men's dominant sport. It a women can also opt for it, no matter she is a working woman or a mother of two or a doctor or a socialist. Still, if she thinks of doing it, she can do wonders in whatever thing she can. So that is how biking came into my life, and I started learning biking. And from that, my actually Surat, India to London was the 6th or 7th ride. My first ride was
Did
in
you,
sorry.
did you travel alone or were you biking with other ladies?
No, the first ride was of WHO. That is, I was representing India in the international rides in Germany, France, Austria, Liechtenstein. Means I was riding in those regions with a message of safety and all that while WHO invited me. Yes, my first biking queen ride from India was from India to Singapore, covering 10 ASEAN countries, with 3 other females. I did train them. That was our first biking queens ride, and the flag of flagging was done by our prime minister, but with a message of Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Abhiyan. We connected Indian national means NH1 to AH1, that is ASEAN highways. We covered lot many NGOs and all that. That is how in India and in Surat there were so many. After doing that ride, there were so many calls and so many girls and women wanted to join. We did all India ride covering 6,000 kilometers, 6,000 villages. And we distributed for women, and we did a lot of work for Shashakta Nari, Shashakta Bharat. And just before pandemic, the All India ride was with almost 45 women. And recently, when we did this ride, was from Surat to London, that is from India to London, covering 3 continents, that is Asia, Europe, Africa, and then again we went to London where I met Rashmi. All this ride, the main part was not reaching there. The main part was challenging your own mind, challenging your own mindset, that yes, you have all the potential to do it, and only you can make it possible. It is not that we had lots and lots of problems and situations where we had to deal with. For example, you can imagine riding for 1,000 kilometers in a day. When we have a problem and we have to merge up with the days, we have to adjust the weather conditions. I'm purely vegetarian, so a lot of things are required. Main part is when I'm a mother of 2 children and when I'm crossing 46, people say that no, your body won't support you, but it is wrong. Yes, as a mountaineer from day one, not just as a mountaineer or a biker, but as a woman, you are handling your family. Hello. So as a woman, you are handling your family. So the most important part is, if your first priority should be your health. That is very
I
important.
have, when you travel this far, you said you traveled from all the way, yeah, Surat, did you say you started your journey and the Prime Minister flagged you off?
Yes.
The logistics, how does it work? Like, you travel with a big rucksack and that basically carries you for the entire course of the journey? Or is it, how does it work? How do you get people that look after you every country you reach? Or do you plan it all in advance and you have global support from people? Or is it just three ladies, four ladies doing it all themselves?
The very first thing, the road what I designed to reach London, uh, was the very first phase was planning and execution. Planning execution means there are a lot many permissions are required, because I had to cross around 21 countries with my bike. So
Mm.
as we have the visa, even bike has the different visa that is called carnet visas. So first we have to make sure that our visa and carnet visa dates matches, because the very drawback is, every country has the limited time to enter and exit. So in that period of time, we have to enter that country and exit that country. And if some situation mishaps happen in between, we have to cover up those days. So a lot of homework was required. It took me 1 year to figure out everything. And from our previous ride, I have learned one thing, that the basic necessity, what you can carry along with you, is your mindset and your consistency, and how you can handle situations at that moment. So when you talk about my bag, it majorly contains of medical or my pancha kit and few of the food things and all that, because rest of the things in way can be handled. I was just carrying 3 to 4 pair of clothes, that's it. And everything is been, it goes according to the planning. But at the same time, whenever we reach different cities and countries and all that, there were always Indians who were supporting us. But yes, all the plannings were there in my mind, and we were going according to that, that if in case we don't get any support, like from Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, these were the places, China, Tibet, we were not having any support, Indians also there. So there we had to plan on our own. Other places also, it is the same, that we plan everything on our own. Only when people meet us, like Indians or the NGOs or the minister, they meet us. So that is a bonus thing. But we cannot rely on them and think that okay, wahan pahunch jayenge aur ho jayega. No, I always have my plan 1, plan B, plan C, and plan D along with me, that if one doesn't work, second works, second doesn't work, third works. It goes like that.
So when you mentioned Beti Bachao, uh, आज की तारीख में भी हमारे देश में, in our country, for us who live here in the UK, we wonder about it. In Indians who don't understand India, like I'm born and brought up in India, so I understand what you're saying. But for British Indians who don't understand, why do we still have to do the Beti Bachao Abhiyan? What is the need for it?
It is a need, because let me tell you that no matter how much we talk about women, but there is a gender equality when we talk about gender equality, but there is still that gap between men and a women. The respect, when you come to India and go to small villages, just forget about small villages. Also, when I was in London, there were certain places, literally I have seen people that respect is not there for the women. Like if you're working, it's fine, but still that respect, the confidence that okay, you will be able to do it, it's not there. That is why this this campaign was started by our prime minister. Then gradually from that it went to Shashakta Nari Shashakta Bharat Abhiyan, and then the third phase came when we did this ride from India to London, that was for women's pride. So it are different stages where this campaign went through, and still Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Abhiyan is still going on in India in different rural places, and where people still don't understand the
And
importance of the
how
education and all.
done for the Beti Bachao? What is done, and what would you, if people want to understand how the Abhiyan works, how are you involved, and if someone else wants to get involved, what can they do to get involved?
What we do is we go to different villages, and also government has already started schools and all that, but as a parent, being into those village people and all that, being a parent, they don't feel important that a girl should get educated. They feel that she's supposed to get married and go at her place, so why to just waste that time rather than teach her the household things, that way. So we go to different places, different villages, and we even conduct health and hygiene campaigns, because we have seen almost 70 to 75% teenage girls are still not aware about the health and hygiene part of themselves, and they end up in a chronic disease, many chronic diseases when they have their periods, and many other things. Even the women, when they enter menopause, they don't know what is it and how it is working, and then they end up having lot many physical cancer and many other things. So we start up with those campaigns, and for the girls we start up with the education. But with the education, we make sure that those girls and women who want to work from their home or from their village, we give them those sources where they can make few things, and they can sell, and we do a lot of exhibitions for them, and we connect them to different
When you
communities and all.
when you say we, are you a part of an organization that people can look up and join?
Yes, as you said, Biking Queen, I have a group called Biking Queen, and it's a charitable trust, the first Biking Queen charitable trust in India, where women's are, bike, when we go on a bike, that itself is a bold statement where people see us that, oh, women can even be on this, the impact is very different. So it is said that when you want to pass any message to anybody, you should give that shocking look first. So I think this is always giving a shocking look to people when I am on my bike and then doing a social campaign and things like that. So yes, Biking Queen Charitable Trust is a non-profit NGO, and anybody who
Where are
wants
you based?
to work, you can.
Where are you based?
We are based in Surat, but we do all the work all over in India,
So if
in
anybody
different
wants,
villages.
they can just Google Biking Queen and your name should come up. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
So ladies here in the UK or anywhere else in the world, if you're interested, you just look up Biking Queen and start biking and join Sarika in her amazing journey around the globe, trying to save women, educate women, empower women, which is every woman's duty. If they have the capacity. So Sarika, tell me, everybody actually has the one worry in their life, when you said you have children, I'm assuming you're married, that if you were to just take off like this, would your husband or would your parents not say, who's going to pay for this, and how are your girls going to get raised, and how did you overcome that obstacle?
See, there it's just not about biking or mountaineering, as I said. It is pursuing any field we want to go into as a woman. That question will always come when you want to do something of your own, because it's like they feel that we are not capable enough because we have shown that way that yes, we are dependent on our family, we are dependent on father, on husband, on brother, we are dependent, we have shown that way. So before even convincing them, first we have to convince ourselves that yes, I am capable of doing anything. But believe me, the moment we think of doing something, subconsciously we give a message to our mind that no, we are not capable of doing anything, because if we fail, what people would say. So our life is being drawn that way, that if we fail, people would tell us rather than don't do it. It's like that. So we do something. Just imagine how much time you give to yourself. No, you are doing this, that, everything. You are doing anything also that is to impress somebody, to impress people, that okay, they'll tell you this and they'll tell you, they'll impress, they'll give you good words and things like that. And if
Yes.
you fail,
How did you actually convince your husband and your children that, okay, mommy's just going to go off and bite down the...
so that it is that only, that you don't have to convince anybody. Why you have to convince? You have to convince yourself only. And believe me, if you are convinced 100% that you can do it, you just have to involve your family members into your dream and make as our dream rather than just my dream. No matter, you won't believe that I was riding from Surat to London, or the previous ride from Surat to Singapore and all that ride, or a mountain climb. It was really very difficult at the first step, that first step. But that is the time I realized that this dream just cannot be mine. It is our dream. Because when I complete that dream, my first responsibility is my family and my children. I just cannot keep them aside and just go on with my dream and all that. No. So I involved everybody, talking to them, taking their suggestion, involve them in your planning. And that is how they will feel that, okay, this is our dream. No matter I was on the bike, but they were feeling that they were also riding, they were passing through these phases. And when I reached London, they felt that yes, they have succeeded as we have succeeded. So don't try to convince. The moment you convince means you are imposing your thoughts on them. Don't impose. I always believe that I don't want to impose, because I always want to do anything or fulfill my dream with the basics of my roots of sanskaras and family values. I cannot keep that aside. That is my first priority. And that is how I involve everybody in that particular dream. And that is how it becomes easy enough to go ahead.
And as you're doing this, how many days did you take you to travel from Surat to London by bike?
It took me around almost 95 to 100 days, because I had to cover 21 countries, because we had to go to the African continent, that is Morocco side, and then again we had to come up. So what we do here is, sorry?
Did you cross the sea? Like, did you take a ship, and is that how you used to travel? Or did you do land only?
No. That is completely land. Only the last phase was on ship.
So from London, from India, where did you go? You said?
From
China.
India we went to Nepal. From Nepal we entered Tibet, and from Tibet we went to China. From China again we went to Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. From there we went to Russia. From Russia we went the Shenzhen part, that is Latvia, Lithuania, and Switzerland, France, Alps, Amsterdam. We covered all that part, Belgium and all that. We went to Paris and Spain, and from again we went down. So at this point we will see one video. In that you will have the whole picture of that ride, that how it went and all that. It is a short video, if we can play that.
Okay. Rashmi?
Hold on, ladies. I'm just trying. Meanwhile, just continue. The moment I can, I will start. While you continue the talk. Yeah.
Okay.
As the being gotten ready to get shown to people, when you look at the monetary aspect of such a big task. Did you have people that sponsored, or you raised the money yourself and this was completely your and your 3 other colleagues' baby?
No, it was supported by United Nations. UN was a big support because they have seen our profile. We have done a lot of work in the rurals, and they have seen a lot of work what we were doing and we were planning to do. So UN was supporting us. Even the government of India supported us, and many of the business people who live here in Surat, and they all supported this cause, and they wanted this to happen. That everybody should get this strong message that to fulfill your dream, you don't have to keep your family aside. You can simultaneously be a professional person, be a family person, be a social person, and still you can pursue your dream. So everybody was very enthusiastic to support this cause in a different ways and different aspects.
And have you, you said you're a psychologist, so are you a trained doctor, or did you do psychology differently?
No, I'm a trained doctor, and yes, that is my main point. Psychology is my main point. My main point is behavioral science. I do a lot of research work in molecules and potential behind prisoners and many such topics with the government bodies, and I do a lot of work into that.
So from psychology to doing something so totally different, did you always get involved with social work, or it was something that came upon you when you started biking?
No, social work was always there because when I was very young, my mother always used to take me for some or other cause. She is basically, she loves to do social campaigns and work since childhood. So since childhood, I used to go with my mom. I used to see her, how she used to work and how she used to support and help other women and all that. So that was already there in me. And then I started gradually with my mountaineering, and then it came biking. So with that also it continued quite well.
And as you now, you said you grew up in a family of 50, your childhood days. Now, obviously, it'll be a slightly smaller setup. How does your family, how old are your children, and what does your husband do?
We live in my in-laws stay with me. We are all together, and my son is 18 years old and my daughter, she's 14 years old. My husband he's into a diamond profession. We have our own set of business. Yeah, we are a different. I belong to a Patel family. I got married in Jain family, and you'll be amazed to know that my daughter and my son, if you Google search their name, Dhanashri Mehta and Janam Mehta, you will find out that they are the youngest mountaineers in the world to summit Mount Elbrus, Russia, when she was 9 years and my son was 12 years. Then they submitted many other peaks, and again this year they are representing India.
When you say summit, you're saying that the level which is just before the top is called the summit. Is that right? Or the top
level is called the summit.
So your daughter was how old when she climbed Mount Everest?
Mount Elbrus. Everest, after 18 only you are allowed. But Mount Elbrus, Russia, that is a second summit in 7 continents. Means 7 summits are there in the world. Mount Russia is... There are different summits like Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Denali. In different continents, there are 7 continents. There are 7 different mountain peaks. That is called 7 summits. And she summited. She went on the top as a youngest mountaineer. She and my son, when she was 9 years and my son was 12 years. If you Google search, you'll have a lot of information and videos about how she did. And it's a long story how she did it and her fitness level and everything at that young age. They are the
I just want to stop Sarika here, but I'm really amazed at this family of mountaineers. So we are ready to play the video.
Okay.
We have Raj Rawat, who is like an angel to us. He helps us in all the IT, and he has a company called Phoenix for all Solutions for All, which teaches all IT skills and all. So Raj, are you ready?
Uh,
He's going
Sorry,
to play
Rashmi,
one.
so I'm just forwarding those videos to myself very quickly on my
Okay,
email.
meanwhile, okay.
Give me a
So
few minutes.
the entire family is so much into adventure, isn't it, Darshini? So
That's
much
what,
fun.
right? The challenge that she's overcome, here Sarika has, is the fact that it's not convincing her family to allow her to do this, but saying to the family, let's all do it together and get involved.
Ah, oh yes.
Which is nice because actually, you know what, that makes sense. When I started teaching dance and running my center here in the UK, the first thing I did was get my children involved. I spoke the language, they played the music, played an instrument, they sang, they wrote, they did recording, they danced. So I guess my husband then started helping me with the ticketing, and that's, I think, what Sarika has said as well. When you have the whole family involved in your venture, then it becomes a success for the entire team. And I think that's where India is not becoming a nuclear family. India is becoming a more, what would I say, a more interactive and involved family. And I think that's what you're saying, right, Sarika, that it's more about
True. True. Yeah.
and how did your I've grown up with traditional Gujarati parents and traditional in-laws. How did your in-laws take to your their adventurous Maurani?
Yes, they like it because they have always seen me that my passion is just not for myself. It is about, I ride for passion and social cause, because I always believe that our society, our country, our people have given us so much. It is our responsibility as a human being that at least we contribute a little, whatever we can, rather than complaining, taking one step towards betterment. And they have seen that the step what I'm taking towards for the people, and what changes their the girls when they come and tell that, okay, I've got this job and thank you so much for this and that work, so they are seeing all these things. So definitely they feel really, really proud that yes, I am into such a different world altogether.
And when you were growing up, how many siblings did you have? The reason I asked you is because you said, you came from a traditional Gujarati family, and for there, the girl child, lagan kari, settle thai jai. You said to become a doctor, and then obviously you ventured into finding someone that you loved and wanted to be with, and then to biking. So if other women are listening to you, what would you say to women that say, oh, as soon as I have a girl, she's 23, 20, whatever, it's time to get her married? What is your advice to those kind of parents?
I always believe that no matter it is a girl or a boy, make sure that they become human being with the soul. I mean, no matter what they achieve, give them that listening ears, listen and understand your children so well, and at the same time make them feel grounded. Being grounded is very, very important, because that is how you are connected with your roots of emotions, your roots of your family values, your sanskars, everything that plays a very important role in your bonding of that family, that emotionally also, physically also, in all aspects also. So no matter it is a boy or a girl, make sure that you are giving them that education, that they can stand on their feet and they can live the life that they want to. It is very, very important, because usually we give them our ideas that you
Yeah.
should do this and that, rather
So you
than
were not
understanding.
a doctor? Were you not forced to be a doctor, or is it something you fell into by choice? Like accountant,
Doctor,
lawyer?
No, that was never doctor from childhood. I always, whenever my mother used to take me to the doctor, since then I had this passion of becoming the doctor. So nobody has, imposed anything on me or nothing like that. It is just I wanted to be, and that is how I fought for it to become one. So
When
you
you
have to take that.
when you do so I think the key thing that I've taken away from your persona is your innate sense of confidence in your abilities to fulfill your dreams. I think that is a strong aspect of your character. When you started training to become a mountaineer, uh, how did you manage to juggle a job, a house, the responsibilities? And the main question I have, which you can answer both separately, is, I whenever I go to India, I find lately, my child got 99.9% or 92% or 92 is actually low.
Yeah.
Now the average is 98. And Bada subject my tuition, and my child is going to get into this college, and that is her future set, and then they will come to US or UK, and everything is hunky-dory. Now you're traveling 100 days, 200 days out of the country. Where do you sit on your child's head and say, "Away to burn, burn, burn"?
Because I always believe that you don't have to make your child paralytic. You have to make your child independent. For example, if because I always believe that mother is the first teacher to their child. No matter what I do, they are seeing that. So if I tell them you don't have to drink Pepsi and cold drinks and all, if I'm drinking, they are not going to listen to that. If I cannot impose anything on them, but yes, I can educate them that if you drink, this is what is happening, and now it is your choice. Make them thinkers, that it is your choice. You want to disturb everything in your body, or you want to do this, then go ahead and do it. Believe me, they will start thinking one day, no, this is not good for me. So the moment when they start understanding and taking decisions, you don't have to think much. So educate your child rather than imposing anything on it. And I always have believed that rather than percentage, concepts should be clear, because percentage doesn't count. The way of living, the way of understanding and living in that moment counts, because life is very, very precious. That is what I tell my children. Life is very precious. Enjoy your each moment with the responsibility, and this time is going to go off. So
Yes,
no
but
matter.
you're traveling. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a tough question. You're traveling. Your
Okay.
son, I have a 14 and 18-year-old exactly like you. So I know what you're probably dealing with in terms of the age. You're traveling. Your son has his HSC exam, and
Okay.
you're not there. And if
Yeah.
he doesn't study and he gets low percentage, how are you going to deal with it as your parent? Are you going to blame yourself, or say, actually, you know what? This is what he has chosen and it's his path, and I will just support him.
Let me tell you that when he was in 10th SSC, he decides to climb Mount Everest base camp, and he did that. When he was in 12th, he decides to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, South Africa, and he did that. So it's completely fine. It's completely fine.
And he
Because
studied hard well.
because I always believe that from childhood, see, whatever the issues we face, no, we don't deal it from the childhood. We always face when they grow up, and then we start dealing with that. The
Yes.
problem is there. So it is one fine day something comes up. Kehvai છે ને કે આગ લાગી ત્યારે કૂવો ખોદવા જાય. It's like that. But in my case, it is not that way. Since childhood, when they come from school, they know where they have to keep their things. You have to eat at this time. I don't have to keep telling them. If you don't eat, it's your choice. If you have to feel hungry, and you cannot get anything else, I make sure that they don't get anything else. So that is how they started cultivating this habit habits in them. And the second most important thing is always you should, you know, your life should be so inspiring that they look up to you rather than looking up to anybody. If you ask my children, they'll say our hero or our, you know, superpower is my mom, because what she has done, and my dad, what they are doing, it's different. So this is what it comes in them, you know, the responsibility part. So now in 10th, if he decides, when he decided to climb, Everest base camp, so he knew that he won't be there for this period of time. So what he did was, in the 9th vacation itself, he completed his whole syllabus of 10th. So 10th in SSC, actually, he had time to revise that whole thing. He did it so well. He pursued a very high level of percentage, above 92 and all. And because he had revised it so well, and even at the same time, he submitted also, you know. So it is about the responsibility, what they have learned from childhood, not after they grow up. It is a vast difference between these two, that they know what they have to do. If they want to do something, they know what homework they have to do. You know, from childhood, I have made them think that your time is important. So do post-morteming of your time. Every day they have this list of things to do, but it's just not the list. In the night, you have to sit with that list and think that whether you could do it or not. If you couldn't do that, then why? Answer yourself, because you are responsible. If you have to reach here, you have to do this, you couldn't. So if you cannot have trust in your own words, how people would have? So this is the brought up I have brought and brought up I've given from the childhood. And that is how that has already come in them when they are grown up. So at this time, I don't have to sit with them even they are in 8th, 10th, 12th. I don't have to decide. He decides everything what he wanted to do, and yes, he discuss everything with me on an everyday basis. But this is how it works. You know, we have a very good communication. I have a very good listening also, and at the same time, I know what they are doing, and they know what exactly I want. It is it goes in the whole routine formulation of a family, not just as an individual.
That's beautifully summarized. I think the final thing that we're going to do is watch one of your videos to actually see what you did and how you ventured into your amazing adventurous journey, and be titled as the Biking Queen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joshi, and I'm so glad that Inspiring Indian Women has invited SARIKA MEHTA from India to talk about her biking journey around the globe. May I ask Raj Rawat to please showcase the video, and you can actually see some of her fantastic moments.
I'll be doing that right now. Thank you.
मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता की अनुभूति हो रही है कि आज यहाँ पर बाइकिंग क्वींस की इस टीम का फ्लैग ऑफ देश के सबसे बड़े राज्य उत्तर प्रदेश की राजधानी लखनऊ से मुझे शुभारंभ करने का अवसर प्राप्त हुआ है।
That is amazing, amazing. At one point when I saw colors of the Indian flag, I had almost tears in my eyes. I felt as an Indian woman, however long I've lived abroad, it's still something I salute. Sarika Mehta, we are very proud to be associated with such an amazing person. I would really say that you are one of the true examples of an inspiring Indian woman globally.
Thank you. Thank you so
Should I
much.
play the second video?
Yeah.
Yes.
आज 71st इंडिपेंडेंस डे है और हम हैं आज लेह में बाइकिंग क्वींस ऑल वुमेन ऑल इंडिया राइड्स जो 19 जुलाई से शुरुआत की थी सूरत से कन्याकुमारी और कन्याकुमारी से आज लेह में है और हमारे लिए बहुत ही ऑनरेबल मोमेंट है कि 15 अगस्त को ये सारी क्वींस जो सूरत से आए हैं वो फ्लैग होइस्टिंग करेंगे और हमारे लिए बहुत ही ऑनर की बात है और यहाँ से जो हमें सपोर्ट मिला है वो भी बहुत बढ़िया बात है।
इसमें जिन लोगों का सपोर्ट रहा है उन लोगों को बहुत थैंक यू और आज हम इतने एंकरेज हुए हैं सबकी एंकरेजमेंट की वजह से, सो थैंक यू सो मच।
हमारे जो पीएम श्री है श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, उनके सपोर्ट के बिना ये राइड अधूरी थी, शायद नामुमकिन थी।
विमेन बाइकर्स पिछले एक महीने कन्याकुमारी से चलकर यहाँ खरदुंगला पास आई है और मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि खरदुंगला पास जो कि विश्व का सबसे ऊंचा मोटरेबल रोड है, यहाँ समतल जमीन के तुलना में 50% ऑक्सीजन कम होती है। ऐसी जगह ये बाइकिंग करके पहुंची है। इनका जोश, इनका जज्बा, ये 21वीं सदी की महिलाओं का जज्बा है और पूरा भारतवर्ष इन सभी पर गर्व करता है। आज साक्षात दुर्गा का रूप है इनमें। वक्त बदला है लेकिन भावना और इच्छा शक्ति नहीं बदली।
I'll be playing the third video now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, third video now.
That's beautiful. I can see, Sarika, you're very emotional, sharing your life's amazing feats with us today. We would humbly like to say thank you to you for doing what you're doing. Before I ask you to summarize your life, actually, you know what? Before I summarize anything, why don't you tell us what are you going through at this moment while you see all of that?
It is like, recalling each moment and again going through that phase and getting that double energy, because one of our expeditions are coming. My children have another expedition coming up in this October. Even I have one expedition which is starting 1st of October. So again, got, double the energy into it, and again, recalling those moments.
Where are you going for your 1st October expedition?
That will come up because it will be relieved by the authorities. I cannot do that, so they will be coming up very soon, those news.
Thank you so much for being so inspiring. It must be amazing to be at Leh on 15th August, and the flag flying was just so beautiful. I'm glad that our Prime Minister has supported you in this amazing journey. You almost make every beti globally very proud. I'm sure your parents.
There was one photo that I just want to quickly share, very quickly.
Yeah.
That I will send. Just give me a second. So can you all see that?
Yes.
Yeah, this was the moment when I reached London, Ace Cafe London, with my bike and that Indian flag.
Did you ever actually fall down, or have any really difficult moments, or your optimism helped you throughout every obstacle?
Yes. Lot of difficult moments. If I start that, even one session or 10 session would be less.
I'm glad you are so optimistic. The one thing that I would like to say when I'm looking at this picture is the things that I learned from Sarika Mehta, and I'm sure people who will see this interview today now, who are watching it with us live, from Indira Ben to Vinny Kalia, say it's awesome, absolutely outstanding. My summary of you, Sarika Mehta, is the thing that makes you stand out and makes me want to say Jai Hind, Jai Nari, is your discipline, your passion, your planning, your execution, your ability to work with a team, your determination. And as I think it was Colonel, or I don't know his exact post, Raghuvendra Rathod said, a 21st century Jazba of Durga. So that myself, I really salute your Jazba, and I'm very proud of you. And I'm sure all the ladies watching will be very proud of you indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you on behalf of
Yeah, Darshini, we need to thank Raj Rawat, who has been our support. So anybody who needs any IT support, remember to contact Phoenix for Solutions for All. Phoenix Solutions for All. Raj Rawat, thank you so much for playing the videos for us. And the videos really gave us such goosebumps, right, Darshini? And me and my team, along with Darshini, would always want you to be our brand ambassador. So on this forum, from this forum, me and Darshini would like to request you to join Inspiring Indian Women Global UK registered, not-for-profit, as brand ambassador. And we'd love to hear it from you officially by email. I'll be sending an email very soon requesting you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Darshini, before leaving, just one line. I think something happened with the bike also. I think you lost the bike. Somebody stole it. Is that so?
Yes, 2 bikes were stolen in Netherlands, Amsterdam. And even we were 3 of them, and even one passport was stolen from Russia Square. It was, that's what I told you, that I have such incidents because I'm a survivor from Everest 2015 avalanche. I have a number of stories to say, even this 1 hour or 10 minutes, 10 sessions would be less.
I'll do your next interview when
Session 2 again.
Do another session.
Yes.
Thank you very much for talk. It was very inspiring. and
Thank you.
encouraging and teach our children how to go and get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
Darshini
you so
and
much.
Thank you.
Sarika,
Jai.
for gracing Inspiring Indian Women platform. Take care,
Thank you.
everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you.
And
Bye.
next 31st, happy Janmashtami, everybody. And
Thank
on
you so much.
31st, we are having Shweta Dhal giving us these Janmashtami feeling with the songs. Yeah. So 31st
Thank
of
you.
August. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.